Kisame versus Nagato.
I'm pretty sure Nagato would win.
Nagato claps.
Yeah, he claps, pretty sure.
Literally claps, Chibaku Tensei.
How about Metal Hand blow your brains out no jutsu? That's all he needs instead.
By the way, there's no weird echo or anything, right?
I don't hear one.
Alright,
Neither
cool.
do I.
Excellent.
Yes, excellent. Yes, I did say that. Fuck you.
Bro, chill. Alright, so we good to go?
I agree Nagato wins, this coming from a Kisame card.
Why are you a Kisame tard?
Because Mr. Shark Boy is underrated.
Yeah,
Not
man,
me.
gotta buy that shark food, am I right?
I don't underrate him. I give him the proper ratings. Below Itachi.
Wow, isn't this gonna be a lovely call then?
Alright, just let me know when you're gonna start.
I'm ready.
Yeah, of course. I'll be judging. So Cyber. I'm guessing X Squeezy's our third judge. Or like, I don't know.
Alright, so you wanna start first? What's your premise?
Is it recording?
Yeah,
Yeah.
The bot's
Okay.
recording.
Yeah, every recorder's recording right now. We got like 3.
This is Prime Itachi versus Prime Minato, both alive before like I suppose Minato before his death, and like basically Itachi went right after he killed his family.
And no gay-ass KACM mode allowed.
Yeah, that would be Edo. Yeah, no Edo.
Yeah. Alright. Do you want me to start with speed?
And before you start, let's get a few rules out of the way. First things first, no ad nauseum, no ad homs, nothing on the like. Make sure to keep it streamlined. Cyber or I will interject if it's ad nauseum, and we'll simply just say our judgments on the matter then, so you can continue on. So, okay, go ahead.
And we're
Again.
posting in official debates, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. So do you want me to start with speed?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll get my scans.
Alright, cool.
Yeah, that should be what I need. Alright, I'm going to be arguing that in this case, Itachi would actually be faster than Minato's reaction and combat speed, because in Edo, he is comparable to KCM Naruto and Killer B. He's able to fight, he's able to react to both of them, even when one is attacking from behind, with just a base Sharingan. And we know that KCM Naruto is faster than the fourth Raikage, and there are multiple statements that say that Raikage at this point is actually a match for Minato. And a lot of people have a misconception about this. They think it's referring to back with that scene we see back with the flashback and all. They think they're comparing those versions when really it's talking about the multiple occasions that they fought afterwards. Like the Raikage got stronger and trained. He improved. So that's why I'm going to be arguing in terms of speed.
Okay, that's fine. Alright, so you would agree that alright, so you're saying Itachi is comparable to KCM 1 Naruto? Okay, so you would agree that Madara, the one with the Edo Madara that beat KCM 2 Naruto would beat Itachi, right? Like, he's faster? Because he was able to like trap Naruto in the wood style.
Yeah, so I know where you're going with this, but the thing is, I'm specifically referring to base Sharingan in this case. Mangekyou Sharingan would actually be much faster because I can get the Nell scan ad for this. Mangekyou Sharingan would actually increase by 3 times because like it increases your chakra to that degree, 3 to 4 times. Let me pull out that scan. And he would also scale to EMS Sasuke and therefore mastered KCM as well in his stronger state. And that's still just Edo, and he would be actually stronger in his prime.
Alright. Alright, yeah, can you provide the scans for that? That'll be great.
Yeah, here it is.
Alright, let me read that real quick. Okay, so you're arguing it would be like, it would be 3 times?
Yeah, 3 to 4 times increase because that's the definition of several.
3 to 4 times. Okay. Alright, well, I'm just gonna argue that, alright, well, hold on, let me finish what I was saying before, right? So, I'm gonna argue that the statements of, like, the Raikage being, like, equal to Minato are wrong, just, like, blatantly wrong, because, the Raikage, was, again, like, slower than, that KCM Naruto that Itachi was fighting, and, that Naruto, like I said, it got beat by Edo Madara, and then the alive Madara was stated to be returning to his former strength, right? And then, and then he gets the Jubi, and Minato in base is still able to react to him after he's over his days. And then he can stack Sage Mode on top of that, which was stated to have better reactions than KCM.
Yeah, but that's actually very inconsistent with his speed because, for one thing, he got completely bodied when he activated his Sage Mode. Madara caught his arm no problem. He reacted to him like he wasn't even there. And then later on, he reacts to him with, like, base. So I'll just say that's, like, plot. That's just plot. It's an outline.
Well, actually, no. It's, like, right before Minato started reacting to Madara is when he got snapped out of his daze. I can even drop the scan because it was directly stated that for most of the war, Minato was in a daze, and so he wouldn't be at his max.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Yeah, so pretty much all low ends from the war were just from his days.
Yeah, but I still, from my evidence, I'm still going to argue that that'd be an outlier, like that his base reacting to Jubi Madara would be an outlier because it's not consistent with everything else given to us.
Well, I mean, if he's in a... Okay, well, like, since he's in a daze for most of the war, I'd argue that would just be, like, the outlier, but, so, here's the thing, right? What, like, other things that didn't come from, like, daze Minato would be, like, inconsistent, sorry.
His base reacting to Jubi Madara, that wouldn't be consistent with his given speed, because he's supposed to be relative to the current Raikage, as stated with his past by people that know both the Raikage and Minato, but by the Raikage himself, who straight up states he and Minato fought on multiple occasions.
Sure, but the fourth is a hothead, though. He like, what's stopping him from, like, overestimating himself? And besides, Minato said that he quote unquote wasn't good with Sage Mode. So even if you say that he's like slightly slower than like his feat against the truth-seeking orbs and like Guy, it wouldn't be like massively slower. Plus, once he stacks Sage mode on top of it, and keep in mind in this fight he has his full mental stability. He's not in a daze, so it'll give the full amp.
Yes, but at the same time, can you actually prove that it's consistent for him to use it? Because he used it only in that one time in the war after he was already dead, and it really didn't come in handy. He literally just got bodied right after using it.
Well, I just argue that if he's like pushed enough, he'd use it, right? He's never, as far as I'm aware, he's never
He didn't
really
use it
needed
against
it. Yeah, but he still
Obito
bodied
killed his
Obito.
wife
He
and
literally
killed him
one-shotted him.
Nine-Tails, and he didn't use it. He was low on chakra. He didn't try to use it.
Well, actually, that kind of supports my point, right? Because it's stated that if you don't need the chakra, like, equally, you'll, like, turn into a toad. So Minato could have, like, if he was, like, already, like, dying because he's on the, like, has super low stamina from, like, that one Kamui and his fight with Obito, then absorbing too much nature energy would have just turned him into a frog, which would have been worse.
He was also a perfect sage, so he should be comparable to Naruto, who fuels himself with nature energy when he's low on chakra.
Well, can you provide scans for that? Because to my knowledge, he only did that with like the Nine Tails help, and like the
Why
like the
would that be
Biju
any
are
good?
like because the Biju are like pretty much nature energy incarnate. They're not gonna like turn into frogs.
The Nine-Tails is... no, the Ten-Tails is not necessarily the individual Biju. I would just say that the Biju combined with their different nature energies would essentially become nature energy.
You can argue that, but like it was stated that like the Biju bomb is combining light and dark chakra, so you can argue that's combining yin and yang. So all Biju should have at least a piece of nature energy inside them.
Okay, but can you quantify the amount of... can you quantify what Sage Mode would amp him to?
I mean, it was stated that it gave him like superior reactions than when he was just in. Because against the Raikage, right? It was stated that after he got knocked out of KCM, he was like, "Okay, yeah, let me enter Sage mode and use Frog Kumite. It'll give me superior reactions and allow me to sense danger over a wider range." So it's like a pseudo precog almost. So not only is it like amping his reactions with like just his like speed, it's also giving him like a pseudo precog, kind of like the Sharingan.
I'm aware, but that's not what I asked. What I asked was, can you quantify the increase? Can you quantify the increase in power?
Oh, I mean like the KCM gave him an advantage over the Raikage of 72 times, and his base was slower than the Raikage, so it'll be at least 72 times.
Can you
In
prove that?
reaction time, not like travel speed. He's not running across the ground faster than KCM Naruto, but he can dodge relatively the same.
Can you actually prove that increases it that much though?
Here, let me provide the scans for what I'm talking.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Sup?
Oh, sorry. I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah, we
I'm
stopped
gonna
talking for a
provide
moment.
scans. I'm about to provide scans for the amp for Sage mode's reaction times.
Well, here's also a scan. This is Kurama directly saying that he the Ninetales in question is nature energy. So if he was going to say that, why wouldn't he call himself nature energy as well, since he is a part of the Ten Tails?
I don't know why that would have been relevant for him to point out. He wasn't talking about himself. That would have been a bit conceited. Like, like, yeah, the Ten Tails, this ultra god monster, is made of nature energy. Same as me, bro. I'm a Chad. That would have been a bit out of place.
Why? Why would he even bring up it being nature energy?
Because it's a fact about the enemy. They're talking about the enemy, not their allies.
Yeah, that as well. Naruto needed to absorb nature energy in order to fight Jubi and the Ten Tails at all. So if Kurama himself has nature energy, why would he need Sage Mode?
Well, again, I didn't say it was like 90% of him. I'm just saying it's a portion, just enough for him to like not turn into a frog.
Mm.
Also, if I remember correctly, it was stated that when a Biju, like, quote-unquote, dies, their energy, like, disperses over nature and then, like, reforms in a few years, like 7 years, I think it was. Hold on, give me a second. Someone's calling my house phone. They hung up immediately, so they're a retard, whatever.
Was that a FNAF phone call? Ouch, Foxy the pirate's attacking now. That sucks. Okay, so Cool Geek's gone at the moment. What's your thoughts so far?
I'll give my input afterwards.
Okay.
Wrong scan, hold up.
Yeah, I'll also say that the 72 times in question is specifically referring to, say, combat speed, or not necessarily reaction speed, because he's just trying to run past him.
Sure, but he's a ninja. Why would his like run speed be faster than his fight speed? In specifically Naruto's ninja training, we never see Naruto like run, but like we see him like spar and stuff, and like I think we see him do push-ups in one of the episodes. So like his combat speed should definitely be more than his travel speed, especially since the power's coming from the Nine Tails. I don't know that we've ever actually seen like the Nine Tails like run away from anything. So it would make sense for it to correlate to his combat speed.
Well, wait, didn't I say combat speed?
Wait, can you repeat that?
Didn't I say combat speed?
Wait, can you repeat your entire point?
My initial point was that it was correlating to that these 72 times was correlating to his combat speed and not his reaction speed, because he wasn't trying to react to the Raikage, he was trying to run past him.
I mean, he low-key was reacting to him because, like, the punch was an inch to his face. If you can't react to that, then he would have got knocked no matter how fast he can run. There we go. That's the right calc. Yeah. So so yeah, he went from like Biju mode against the third Raikage, and then like he like tried to charge. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, but he charged up that Biju bomb, but like it exploded in his face, then it knocked him back to base, and then the stage mode scenes I dropped came directly after that.
Yeah.
All right, so are we good?
Sure. But another thing, I can argue that because Itachi is an Edo, that he would be roughly halved. His strength would roughly be halved because with Hashirama he states that KCM2 Naruto has almost as much chakra as him, and that's just half of Kurama, and we know that full Hashirama could easily face the full Kurama.
Okay, I see what you're saying, but at the same time, even if that's like, okay, so hold on, let's take this one step at a time, right? So he said that Naruto had almost as much chakra as him, not almost as potent, right? There's no reason to think that he would be like half as slow. It would just be like half the amount of chakra, if you know what I mean. I'm not saying he did not get slower. I'm just saying that it wouldn't be like equal to the amount of like chakra that he has.
Neither am I, but like it's a thing to help scale because amount of chakra and chakra potency does correlate to
Why?
your power and to your combat and speed.
Why? I mean, unless you're Naruto, I don't know that I agree with that, because Naruto, like, the Rasengan in specific is directly stated to, like, put a bunch of, like, chakra, like, a bunch of the amount of chakra into, like, a condensed space. What, like, how does Hashirama do the same thing? I don't know that he can.
Okay, you two have been on speed, right, for a bit. Do you want to wrap up speed and move on to AP?
Sure.
Sure.
You guys can make a couple more arguments referring to speed, but don't repeat them.
Right. So yeah, can you provide like why, besides in the case of the Rasengan, can you provide why like half the amount of chakra would equal like half the potency?
Well, and in Itachi's case, it wouldn't necessarily be amount of chakra because in his case, he doesn't really, increase in the amount of chakra he has. Like, it just increases by 3 times the amount of chakra potency he can put into, like, everything he has. Into his Mangekyo and all.
Okay, well, sure, you can argue that. That's fine. Alright, so, let me see. Okay, yeah, I'm fine with where we are.
Okay. Do you want to go into AB first?
It doesn't matter. Would you prefer to, or would you prefer me?
You can go first.
Alright, so, I'm gonna argue that Minato, would be around the levels of the A-Tail since he was able to cut, B's tentacle with his kunai. Now he should be far above that with like a Rasengan. So like yeah, he'd scale heavily above the 8 tails, I'd argue. Yeah, if you want, I could provide scans for that.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, cool. Give me a second.
Are scans being collected?
Yeah, both of us are.
That I disconnected.
Okay, Cyber, you want to give them 10 minutes in AP, or you want to give them 20 minutes in AP? Because I'm looking at like probably around 15 minutes on AP.
Well, let's just let them go. I'll inform if it's going into ad nauseum.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so Minato cut through perfect Jinchuriki B's tentacle with his kunai, just a basic kunai.
Yeah. Alright, is that all you're going to scale, or do you want me to?
You can scale. I have something else that I may or may not add later.
Okay. I'll pull up my scans. Okay. Itachi should scale to Killer B and Master KCM and EMS Sasuke, because he can damage the 8 tails as well. His flames can actually damage it, and this is pretty impressive when you consider the fact that a 9 tails fired a Biju bomb at his tentacle, and he didn't even flinch. As well, he can damage the 9 tail with Amaterasu, because Amaterasu was used on the 10 tails by EMS Sasuke. So his Amaterasu is of that potency, which I can, and with this stuff I can scale him to multi-continental to planetary, or at least small planetary.
Okay. So here's okay. Let's see. What should I go after first? Let's see. All right. So hold on. Give me a few seconds. Alright, so I can just argue that Minato would easily be able to dodge the Amaterasu.
Well,
Now...
we're not going into battle right now. We're not going into battle. I'm talking about the potency of his Amaterasu, and that would scale to his overall AP.
Oh, so it'd be like, slightly above B, same as Minato, that's fine. Am I correct? He'd be like slightly above B, same as Minato, because Minato was able to cut him like butter.
Yeah, it's fine. So, essentially, the conclusion we're coming to is that they are more or less relative in AP. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, would you like to move on to hacks?
Sure.
All right. You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
Oh, you can go first.
All right. So, I'm gonna bring up the most obvious thing: flying Raijin. Um, so Minato, he can like teleport as long as he can react to you, right? He can teleport to you and attack you like all in the same instant, and it's really bad. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's your main argument at the moment, right?
Yeah, and also he can mark Itachi's body just like he did to Obito.
Ooh, you just gave me an idea.
All right.
Let me select that scan as well. Come on, where is it? I know I have it. There, that should be it. Okay. So the thing about Itachi is that he basically grew up knowing about Minato. He would know about the flying Raijin. He would know how his abilities work. So with his own speed, I'm going to say that he can react to his throwing of the kunai and basically intercept them with his own kunai so that they're thrown off course. As well, about the whole Obito thing about marking his body, it's actually in the novels. I just posted a novel scan. It's highly suggestive that Obito, like 8 years later, who would be much stronger than before, is being rivaled by Itachi when he's 13 years old. So this would be superior to the Obito that faced Minato. So
Okay.
as well, Itachi, with his prior knowledge as well as his immense intelligence, would not let himself be touched so easily as Obito would.
Okay, I kind of have some disagreements there. Obito was literally Minato's student, so he should know everything about Minato. So like, I don't think that Itachi would fare much better. Now, you said like he's a rival to like a older Obito. Can you quantify how much stronger Obito got?
No, I can't, but that's not necessary.
Okay, because since you did bring up him being like a rival to Obito, if you can't prove that he's like significantly above, I can just argue that sorry, hold on. Without when you talk when oh my gosh. When Minato's not using like a baseline attack, he would completely annihilate that Obito. As a matter of fact, with one Rasengan, he literally started like melting him. Like he melted his Zetsu arm off. It was really bad.
Yeah, but the thing about this Obito is that he no longer has the Zetsu fusion. That version of Obito had the Zetsu fusion that made him at all relative to him. Like he trained to the point where he was basically like, yeah, I don't need you anymore, Zetsu, go away.
Sure, but that would just mean that he'd be like Zetsu level, like normally. Like, it doesn't mean that he'd be like stronger than he was. It just means he'd be like relative.
Well, if he wanted to be relative, then he would just keep the Zetsu fusion. He's probably logically he would be stronger.
Okay, but how much stronger? Because if it's not like 2 times or more, like I mean, Minato literally melted him. I could drop the scan for that.
I know about it. You don't need to do that.
Yeah. All right. So, you wanna continue on this point or move on to something else?
Yeah, I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna continue this point. Like with his own skills of like he specializes in like shuriken jutsu and such. So he, and regardless of your the Obito point of like Obito knowing about Minato, which I don't completely agree with on, because with Obito, for one thing, he always, when he trained with Minato, he always went up against a Minato severely holding back, and he went in against Minato and didn't expect any of his Flying Raijin shenanigans. Like, he didn't know he was going to teleport right behind him.
Sure, you can argue that, but there's no reason to think that that Itachi would. Well, hold on. Here's the thing, right? Because the way that kunai shenanigan worked is like Obito phased through the kunai and then like immediately Minato was like smacking him with the Rasengan. So like I don't think it really matters, even if he like knew that Minato would have teleported like mid-air, which I don't know why Itachi would know that he would teleport mid-air, but it doesn't really matter because my point is right that he can teleport and attack at the same time. So he was smacking Obito before Obito pretty much knew what happened.
Yeah, but my point with this, with with Itachi is, in this case, he's someone who goes in with knowledge. He's someone who goes in with somewhat of a plan, even if it's on the spot. Like he was planning on the fly against Nagato and the Chibaku Tensei, and
Well, okay, I can just.
And in this case, what I'm arguing is that he's going to know what Minato is going to do. He knows he's going to throw the kunai, so he's going to intercept them with his own kunai, which is going to throw off course what Minato is trying to do. And yes, he can teleport to them, but like they won't be going to the places he had originally judged.
You can argue that, but he can still like throw the kunai midair, and then when he realizes that not Kakashi, that Itachi's trying to throw him off, throw the kunai off track, he can teleport to that kunai while throwing another kunai, or something of the sort. But also, here's another thing, right? If because Itachi has been shown to use taijutsu, like when he was fighting KCM Naruto. So if Itachi tries to at all like approach Minato in taijutsu, like the first like connection they get, Minato could be using that to mark Itachi, and like even if you come in with like prior knowledge, most people don't know, like even Obito, like you said, didn't think that he would like mark his body. You can argue that. I don't know if I agree with that, but even if you argue that, right, he can, like, most people don't know that aren't like Obito. And like, so I see no reason for Itachi to know, yeah, this dude can make a jutsu formula on my skin without me even noticing.
Well, for one thing, it's actually very much in character for Itachi to say go in with a crow substitution or even a shadow clone, which if anything would be bad for Minato, because if he gets up close, then he can detonate it he can detonate it and it will just explode in his face.
You can argue that, but at the same time, like Minato could, like when he realizes that something's exploding in his face, he could always just teleport it away or himself away. Even if his kunai aren't exactly where he left them, it would at least be outside of the blast radius.
Well, he would need to know it's coming. With Obito, like when he put the kunai on like baby Naruto, he saw them about to detonate. In this case, this is a clone. You don't know a clone is going to detonate. That's not something anyone has ever done before.
Sure, you can argue that, but since this is like Minato with like Sage mode, like he can sense he used the precog to know. Okay, yeah, something's about to happen. Let me dip real quick.
Hold on a moment. Did you ever counter? I can't remember. Did you ever counter my question on whether or not it would be in character for Minato to use Sage mode?
I mean, yeah, when he was in the war, he was like desperate times call for desperate measures, which implies he was just never really pushed to use it before. Otherwise, like he would have, because like against Obito, like I said, in base he literally one-shotted him with the Rasengan and started melting him, and like against the Nine Tails, like he was, like you said, he was already out of energy, and the frogs specifically state that if you don't have enough of your like normal chakra, then you can't go into Sage mode. You know, because you have to. Oh wait, sorry, I'm echoing. Let me fix that. Sorry about that. Is the echo gone?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gone.
All right, cool. Why didn't anyone like tell me I was echoing? But anyway. All right, so yeah, the point on like to the counter to your counter was that he just has never been like pushed to use it other than like when we saw it.
Well, I think. Well, never mind. I was about to make a point that it was irrelevant. Okay. Well, tell me this: does he have a counter to Tsukiyomi? Itachi's like signature move.
Yeah, he can close his eyes and still perfectly sense everything around the battlefield with his Sage mode.
Can you actually prove that he would know to do that though? Because against Obito, he didn't close his eyes. They were actually looking each other right in the eye, and he wasn't protecting himself against genjutsu.
Sure, but I can also make the argument that he could possibly be like resistant to Genjutsu, because if that was just a easy KO win for Obito, he should have like immediately used Genjutsu on Minato, and the fact that he used Genjutsu on the QB but not Minato, I think that's a bit weird. If you know Minato was just like his ultimate weakness was Genjutsu, why didn't Obito try it at least once? Like even like after like Minato like melted him, if like and the Nine Tails got separated, he would have just been like, okay, dang, I'm like dying, like my arm is melted. Let me like try one last ditch effort, put him under Genjutsu, and then I won. That would be a GG for Obito, and Obito
I have an
wasn't
easy
dumb.
answer to that.
Okay, what's the answer?
Okay, this literally took place a year after Rin died. This is still a very young and very angry Obito. He he is still to the point where he is very mad at the world. Not only that, mad at Minato, because in his mind, Minato failed him. So what's going on is he's up on a high horse. He just killed his wife, more or less, and stole the Nine Tails from him. He is confident and angry. He wants to personally make his sensei pay for his own pain. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, my phone was messing up. But well, I mean, you can argue that he was like cocky at the beginning of the fight, but like I said, after he got his arm melted, there would be no reason for him to not do that. You can like argue that he was mad. I don't know. It seems pretty satisfying to me to like mind rape someone and then beat on their like their like barely knowing anything like body that's almost lifeless. That seems pretty satisfying if you're, very like evil minded. That sounds pretty
Well,
satisfying to
can
me.
you prove that's Obito's mindset?
I mean, no, but you said that that was his mindset, right? He was very evil towards Minato. He wanted to. You said that he wanted to like make him suffer like personally, right? Put someone under a genjutsu and then beating their freaking lifeless body seems like it's a good amount of torture to me. Wouldn't you agree?
Not really. Because to use your words exactly, they wouldn't be feeling anything.
When did I say that?
We're kind of going off on a tangent on this. So.
I mean,
So
sure.
my final argument against this is that at this point he knows that Minato will be in his way to getting to the Nine Tails, and the Nine Tails is his main goal.
Yeah, but I mean, after you kill your teacher, who's the only, like you said, is the only one between you and the Nine Tails, you can grab the Nine Tails again, you know what I mean? Because he got it loosened from him. He could just kill the sensei and then grab the Nine Tails again, calmly to wherever he needs to go. The series would have been over. GG.
Yeah, but he also knew at the time that Minato had just marked him, because right after he got smacked with the Rasengan, Minato teleported over to him and stole the contract from him. So it's like, I gotta bail because he's just gonna teleport to me and just slit my throat.
Not if all you have to do is look at him. Like, if all Obito has to do is genjutsu him with his Sharingan instantly, then there'd be no real time. If they're like relative, which I'd argue they're not, but if Obito could do that, I mean, he was looking at Minato for a good bit. So if if you were saying, because they were looking at each other, so if Minato was so like genjutsu like weakness identified, if you know what I mean, then like when they were staring at each other for those few seconds, he could have, okay, genjutsu, dead, now Nine Tails, boom, I got a successful mission. My arm got melted, but my mission was successful. I got the Nine Tails. GG.
Well, I can also still argue that with his Mangekyo Sharingan, he can still put him under genjutsu, specifically Tsukiyomi, because Mangekyo Sharingan genjutsu does not require eye contact. They can just put you under a genjutsu, as shown when he used Izanagi with his Izanami against Kabuto with his Mangekyo Sharingan.
Okay, hold on, because like regular MS genjutsu and Izanami aren't at all the same. Because because I know that MS genjutsu don't require eye contact, but I'd still argue that they need your eyes to be like open, or else they wouldn't have needed Izanami. They could have just put him under like any standard like MS genjutsu, could put Kabuto under them, and then it would have been game over. No need for Itachi to use Izanami. It was just kind of useless, you know. And another thing is, Sasuke act all surprised, like, oh my gosh, his eyes were closed and his ears were shut. Radical. And also, right, like the one of the reasons I say that, just because it doesn't need eye contact doesn't mean his eyes can be like closed, is because of the way eyes work. The pupil of your eye, it specifically like lets in like light, whereas your eyelids don't exactly do that. The pupil is specifically made to absorb as much light as possible, and it does, even in real life, right? It absorbs other things as well. Like certain radiations can be caught by your eye accidentally. So if the Sharingan is injecting the person's chakra into your eye, it would be much easier to do it when your eye is open than closed. You can even argue it would be more or less impossible if your eyes closed, unless we're talking about Izanami. And Izanami, I think my speed argument kind of Because I do think that I argued higher speed, and that would counter Izanami.
Hold on, give me a moment. I'm getting some scans.
All right.
Okay, from here, I'm going to be arguing the speed that Tsukiyomi and things like Kotoma Tsukami can be used, because that's the thing about Prime Itachi. He actually had Kotoma Tsukami with him, with that crow. So with the speed of either Tsukiyomi or Kotoma Tsukami, I'm going to say that he can get him with his Mangekyou Sharingan Genjutsu before he can close his eyes.
All right. Can you prove that he can, I guess, blink at Minato before Minato can close his eyes? I guess would be a good way to phrase it.
Well, I just posted the scans for the Mangekyou Sharingan speed.
All right. Let me go look at that real quick. Okay, well, at this point, I'm just gonna try and hammer in that Itachi, like, he never like starts fights with his like MS out. He has to activate it from his like either regular eyes. He either goes from his regular eyes to his Sharingan to his MS, or from his regular Sharingan to his MS. In either case, when Minato like knows that like okay he's doing something with his eyes, because every time on screen when you see someone activate their MS, it's a pretty lengthy amount of time, and since Minato, well, I mean, his like teammate like Obito was an Uchiha. I doubt that he knows nothing about Uchiha Genjutsu. So when he's like, okay, this guy's about to do something with his eyes, let me close my eyes real quick. And I think it should be a relative amount of time for Minato to close his eyes than for like Itachi to activate his MS, if not taking Minato less time.
Well, in this case, at this point in time, this Prime Itachi, he actually does start with his Mangekyou Sharingan abilities, because when he went through the Uchiha clan, he used Tsukiyomi on multiple Uchiha members, one of which was like his girlfriend and another member of the Uchiha clan, and it literally just killed them instantly. And in
Sure, you can argue.
Cases, and another case of reacting to like someone blinking, more or less. Kakashi, when he first came across Itachi, he saw he was gathering chakra into his eye, and all he had time for was to let Kurome and what's his name? I can't think of his name.
Asuna.
Yeah, Asuma. All he had time for was to let them know to shut their eyes before he instantly got hit by it, which he should have been able to react to with his own Sharingan.
Okay, here. If you can, okay, so there's a few things with that, right? So, the fact that he was able to tell someone else, shut your eyes, that takes way longer than it takes you to close your eyes. Because think about it, right? He was able to tell them to close their eyes, and then they were able to close their eyes, and they're not even that fast. Like they closed their eyes, they have no speed feats almost, and then they were able to close their eyes before the Genjutsu landed at any one of them. And I can just argue the reason Kakashi didn't close his Sharingan is because he closed his regular regular eye. He just didn't close his Sharingan because the Sharingan is supposed to be a counter to visual jutsu. He didn't think that it would work on him itself.
Well, for one thing, he kind of always like has that one eye closed when he has his Sharingan out because it's more effective as well. He was seeing the chakra being gathered, not necessarily seeing it activate. So he had enough time to let them know to shut their eyes as he's gathering chakra into his Mangekyo, but he didn't have enough time to shut his eyes when it actually activated.
Sure, you can argue that, but like I said before, Sage mode gives you precog, so Minato would know that something's going on, and also, right, not only that, but it lets you like sense energy. I won't say it's as good as the Sharingan, but it still gives you some sort of mild sense.
Can you guys wrap up and go to conclusions soon?
Yes,
Okay.
that would be preferable.
Okay. Last question I'm going to ask: can you quantify how fast the precognition is?
Well, if you go under the axiom that that Naruto said that he'd be able to like react at the last second to like the Raikage, you can make the argument that, and also it's been shown that the Raikage, right, he has to actually poke you with his actual finger. Just hitting you with like his like energy aura doesn't do anything. So I can argue because I think it was even in the scans I provided, maybe not. I can get them if you want, but the scan, but he was able to like dodge the like even like the like he was able to see it. Like I think it was, I don't want to highball it too much, but I think it was a like 6 inches before like he actually needed to dodge. So take that as you will. It's pretty good. Like he'll see it coming before it hits him. Definitely.
That's kind of a weird comparison because Sage, Naruto and Sage Minato would be very different, especially when you compare like what they're avoiding, like Itachi's like 1 millionth of a second Sharingan, Mangekyo Sharingan Genjutsu, and like the third Raikage's like lightning spear.
Sure, but at this rate, right, we're just saying that like when like he'd know like just like when he was charging it up, sort of similar to Kakashi. But yeah, it's a bit different, but even still, I can just argue that the more dangerous the thing is, the more of a reaction it'll get out of Minato. What makes me say that, right, is because when Naruto saw the Raikage, he wasn't too worried. He was able to, like I said, finesse him no difficulty. But when he saw like something hugely bad, like the Ten Tails, he like almost like it looked like he was crapping his pants. If I'm being like completely honest. So the more dangerous the thing is, like a solo genjutsu, that since you're arguing it would be able to destroy him, it would definitely give him a pretty good, a pretty decent warning.
I'm not entirely sure if I agree with that. That it increases the warning you get, because that seems pretty headcanon-y.
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, like you showed me the scan of like I think it was in your scan where like Naruto crapped his pants when like looking at the Ten Tails in Sage mode, whereas like in Sage mode he was like really comfortable against the Raikage. Like he was fine. He just saw the blue and he was just like, oh yeah, no, it's dodge, no difficulty, shove Rasengan, you know.
I'm not sure if I understand the comparison there, because the Ten Tails is it's much more dangerous, but like that doesn't correlate to precog reaction.
Well, the thing is, right, Naruto didn't feel the need to dodge until he was much closer to the Raikage, when he was like literally like crapping his pants at the Ten Tails, looked like he wanted to run away like a scared child.
Okay.
That was basically my point, but if you want, we can move on.
We can move
Cyber.
on. It's still a weird argument to me, but like we can just move on from it.
All right.
Conclusions.
Okay, we can
Yes,
close if you
please
want.
conclude.
Okay. Do you want to do your conclusion first, since you started first, Edgard, or would you like me to conclude first?
I'll go ahead and conclude. It'll be quick. I think I won because I don't think he has properly quantified the speed of Sage Mode or Minato in general to like go against the Mangekyo Sharingan speed I established.
Is
Okay.
that it? Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I think I easily provided why Minato would be, in Sage Mode at least, way faster than Itachi, and relative in strength, if not greater, with his strongest jutsu, the Rasengan, and also that Minato would have proper precog and possibly even just flat out resistances to Itachi's hacks via Sage Mode, and also Flying Regime. That is my conclusion.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and go first. So I'm gonna start ripping into Edgard. So,
Okay.
alright, so Edgard, you made a lot of improper arguments, and you really did not counter what Cool Geek was countering for your arguments. You kind of just like accepted them for what they were, and kind of just moved on after like maybe one or two attempts. And I don't think you refuted his points very, very well. And this is kind of why I believe Cool Geek clapped now. Cool Geek, I think you countered all of his arguments pretty well. The Raikage and the Tsukiyomi example was a little strange, but I do believe that all you really did was just make that point just to make a comparison of, say, precognitive abilities, which I believe it was a proper argument and a proper example. Although I do think you could have made a better one early in, but since all you really had to do was just scale Sage Minato to say Sage Naruto, and then just scale Sage Naruto's reaction time. That's really all you had to do. So, now for my conclusion, though, I believe Cool Geek won this debate. I think he was more convincing on speed. There was no real proper counter to speed. As for AP, I think Cool Geek won all the points in AP. There wasn't really much to really contend with. You guys didn't really go over hacks all that much, besides like maybe Tsukiyomi, one and two other genjutsus, and that after that, precognition. So yeah, I think Cool Geek won this debate overall quite casually.
Yeah, I don't think it's as clear cut as that, but so let's go over it in its entirety as far as I remember, because it derailed a bit. Let's start with the Raikage thing. So I do think Geek provided enough evidence to support that his scaling for like War Arc, like Edo Minato, right, in base and Sage Mode, even if he didn't provide necessarily a good quantification for like Sage Mode, right, I do think he held the position that he was able to scale him at least relative to like characters that would scale to Itachi, if not faster. I do think you brought up a good point that necessarily scaling to like Madara with the Jubi is kind of an outlier per se, right? But I do think he did provide enough evidence that it would be at least relative. I also think he provided enough to support that it would actually be more so relative to the Mangekyo Sharingan scaling rather than just the base Sharingan. Actually, now that we're on that, Edgard, I have no idea why you didn't just scale, unless I misheard you. You didn't scale Edo Itachi to like EMS Sasuke and then scale EMS Sasuke to like the faster variation. What like should be faster for like KCM 1 or KCM 2 Naruto. Like even before
I did. I brought up how he would scale to Master KCM and EMS Sasuke.
Then I must have misheard that section. Did Geek refute that?
I said that because that Madara with when he was like reanimated, used the Wood Dragon to like react to, if not arguably like Bolo Naruto, that would make like just Edo Madara relative to that. Then like the alive Madara with the one eye that was just alive, Speed Blitz, EMS Sasuke. I brought up that.
Okay, but my contention with that is essentially like I established. I don't think you've established like Minato scaling that high. I do think. Well, let me rephrase that. You definitely did not scale him properly to Jubi Madara. I don't think Edgard. I'm pretty sure debunked that. I heard him like bring up that like Madara managed to like tag him essentially and blitz him completely. Right.
Yeah, but I brought up Minato's days.
Right. But Eddie, I do remember you bringing up the days. Okay, I'm just gonna say this. I do think that you hold slightly higher in position of possible speed scaling, not to such a high degree that I feel that like Edgard gets completely slapped on that. AP, it seems like you were both relative. You both brought up like examples of harming the Eight Tails, right? You brought up Minato using the rustling. Did you ever provide a quantification for Sage Mode? Like an exact one? I know Edgard asked you repeatedly. Did you actually bring up a quantification or no?
For the speed, I did not so much for the AP, but I didn't think that was too relative because my main argument, right, was that they should definitely be like, as far as the Amaterasu should scale to like Minato's like his like kunai. But then if I felt like Edgard was pressing me, I would bring up how like how Minato like was like his Rasengan should be way stronger, like how he like melted Obito, because I had a feeling Edgard was gonna bring up that Itachi should scale to an Obito, and I just argued that if you cannot like prove.
I remember you mentioning something about that in the debate.
Yeah.
Like you briefly went over it. Okay, so then I would establish that you might have a slight advantage in AP, but did you gauge the difference between Obito's durability in comparison to the Eight Tails?
No, but he's the one who brought up first that like Itachi should be relative to an older Obito, but wasn't able to like say that like how much stronger like that that Obito was. It was just like
Then
unquantifiably.
Then you're both like, since you both then kind of like failed to do that, I would say you're still relative in AP. Okay, so then moving on to hacks. I do remember you bringing up the seals and him bringing up the genjutsu, and I think that's what this is going to be most contingent on. Because I do remember like you were tackling the genjutsu quite well with the like his Tsukiyomi example. I do remember your counter to that. Edgard, what was your initial counter to the seal? Was it just that that Itachi's not going to get tagged?
My initial argument was that he could react to the kunai being thrown with his own kunai and shuriken. He could knock them off course and throw them off course so that they wouldn't land where Minato wanted them to.
Because I made a little commentary chat, right, with Fallen and Punk Rider, and we were trading a few notes briefly, right? I felt at a certain point a few minutes ago, Geek was slapping in hacks per se, right? But I'm trying to think here because, okay, so
All right, so
I do feel like he beat out in Genjutsu. So I'm gonna have to say this.
okay, here.
Wait, don't cut me off. Here's my judgment. I think you both have some discrepancies in speed, but it's not too big of a gap for a blitz. AP, I think, is relative. Hacks, I think Geek did a slightly better job on hacks. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to re-listen to this once it's completely done, right? Once you upload it, right? And see if I made any mistakes in my judgment. But I'm going to give Geek the slight advantage and win just because I think he did a better job at countering hacks per se and established a overall neg most of your win cons, while I feel like your counters to his win cons weren't as good as his counters per se, if you get what I mean, right? Again, my judgment could change. There was some times that like your guys' echoes was cutting into like what I was able to hear for the recording, right? And I do think that happened enough that maybe I'd missed a few things. So to be completely fair to both of you, I would like to re-listen to this recording.
Well, so here's what was going on, right? I can actually fill in some of the gaps. So, what you're missing was more or less Edgard was the one making most of the claims. Cool Geek had to refute a few of them, try to counter a few of them, like on AP, since that's one of the discrepancies you have, which is mainly on AP. Uh, Cool Geek was trying to refute some of the claims, but like he couldn't tell a little bit of what Edgard was talking about. They were both kind of vague, but Cool Geek having his quantification error, and Edgard having his vacuous errors with his own AP scaling. But like, I don't really see the quantification thing as much of an issue, since I didn't really see Edgard give much of a contention with it.
No, I brought that up too, and I'm more so what I'm referring to with my discrepancies is actually the hack section, since
Yeah,
that's when the X's started really
I'm
getting bad.
not
So.
hacks. I don't really see hacks as much of an issue, as much as they both made errors to where they were relative on the issue, as much as I see AP as more of the issue here.
Okay. Well, still, I do want to listen to the whole thing again. Both of you did a good job, in my opinion. Not too bad. Right? So we should cut off the recording. Can someone stop the recording?
Yeah, someone stop the recording. I'll stop the bot.
Geek, the faster you can get this uploaded, the faster I can re-listen to it. Congrats to both.
Agreed.
Thanks.
Okay, so now I have to deal with Lionel Suggs. So
Okay, if you're ping me when you're gonna do Lionel, I'm still a bit skeptical if that's actually the real. If you manage to get the real one, well, kudos to you and kudos to Punk. I'll gladly judge that. I got a dip for like a few minutes, right? But
okay, well,
ping me when you
Punk.
start. It's not gonna be long. I'm gonna be occupied for like 10-15
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah, we're gonna be in that private DM call and try to get Suggs in there. So anyway.
Okay. All right. I got a dip.
Okay, now I'm gonna turn off push to talk. So, yeah, I think you guys had a really good debate. Although I do think the scaling discrepancies that both you had is kind of what made you guys a little more even. It is Kolgi kind of edged it out with how he refuted you rather than the claims he was making himself. So I do think you should like introspect a little on how you scaled Itachi in that debate.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to the recording after it gets uploaded.
All right. Okay, so Punk, now we have to go into the private DM and VC in there. Okay.
Bro, this was a good debate.
Yeah, it was a decent debate. I know Cool Geek's gonna upload it to his channel, so I'm just not gonna upload it. So, hey, Punk, you there? Punk, you there?
Well, guys, I'm gonna work out. I
Alright.
was supposed to work out like a lot, like a while
Damn, man,
ago.
that's actually me. I'm about to go to the gym.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway.
I was gonna work out, and I was like, wait, we're debating. It's like, so
Like, I need to see this.
yeah.
Okay, so alright, Punk, are you there? I'd like to know if Punk is there.
Like, regardless of who was chosen as the victor, just in Cyber's opinion, I did enjoy this debate. So
Yeah,
Is Punk even on? He said he'd screen record me versus Leon.
Edgar.
yeah,
Are you good at scaling pain?
at scaling pain,
Yeah.
like just the 6 paths of pain or Nagato himself.
The 6-path.
I would, if we're talking about like prime pain, I would say probably country to continental.
Country. That's crazy.
Hey, wait, what did I miss so far as Cyber's judgment? Because at the end, during the last third, my
I think he said
Okay,
like
well, basically, Cyber and I both agreed that you won. Although I do think the gap between you and Edgard was wider than the one he was suggesting. Although this would stem from the fact that he was like he couldn't tell heads or tails for some of it.
Well, Cyber said like he gave you the edge, but like he's going to listen to the recording and judge from there.
Yeah, because I believe you won the debate. So for now, it's more or less in your favor. Cyber and I would have to come together just to, just to fucking talk about whether or not you completely won.
Like one point I do wish I had made on the kunai thing was using like finger genjutsu while and like intercepting the kunai and like say hiding the fact he would be like hitting the kunai with a Marasu.
yeah.
Okay,
Edgar.
so
yeah, that already makes decent.
We need a private VC in the Leonel Suggs chat.
All right.
What did you say?
I'm gonna try and get my
Boogie?
phone to. Oh yeah,
Okay, well,
that's a pretty good argument.
Okay, well, Geek, I'm gonna start a call in there, so come join when you do, okay? Like, once your phone
All
starts to
right,
work.
got it. Yeah, I just want to talk to Edgard for a few minutes.
Alright, I'll give it some time.
But,
Because, okay, Punk, get ready to hop and call in the Leonel Suggs chat room, like, right now. Like, please be there.